This spiritual war isn't really about the devil, it's about making love prevail against all odds. In my last video, I told you about this man who we're calling Orion, and he kept giving me mixed signals. But to me, mixed signals mean that you should just move on with your life because the person don't want you, and that's exactly what I did. But I've been through so much shit between then and now, and I'm back at square one where I'm fighting feelings for this man. I used to always think that I wasn't capable of loving a man because I had never loved one before, but by considering the possibility that Alkaline might be a genius, it led me to fall in love with the idea that he is one, and that's what led me to realize that I am a sapiosexual. But I was thinking about Orion a lot, and I really missed him. But when I finally got over Alkaline and, this whole idea, all of the feelings for Orion came rushing back. And by the end of this video, I will explain to you how it is that fighting feelings for this man is what drove me mad in the first place. So that's how I know that the cure is to just accept how I feel and confess how I feel. It's Women's History Month, and I just happened to be a woman making history because I had a Kundalini awakening and I chose to use science to understand it. Now, Jamaicans tend to think of science as some kind of dark magic, but I want you to believe in the natural sciences because that is what will build hope for our country. Chronic said, Haile Selassie children are going to win the war, and he was right. So this is why this video is very important to me. I've never asked this before, but please like, share, comment, subscribe, because I want to tell everybody who is suffering that things will be okay. I hadn't spoken to him since 2020, so I messaged him the other day, and one of the things that he said he wanted to do was hug me, and he asked me when I'd be coming. So I told him he should decide. No answer to anything that I said after that. And that reminded me of why I left his ass alone in the first place, because I didn't like how it felt like he was always playing with my feelings. But I really need that hug, so I'm going to work for it. I'm going to put all of my pandemic knowledge to good use right now. And I'm going to talk to him here because I'm not going to send him any fucking paragraphs. And this is a good way to wrap up my experiment. I appreciate that you used to tell me to try harder instead of giving me preferential treatment where grades were concerned. And the last time you begged me to try for you. And this is me once again trying for you. Whenever imposter syndrome creeped in over the past 3 years, I just remembered how much you believed in me, and that pushed me to believe in myself. So here goes. You were the one who made me realize that the creation story doesn't make any sense scientifically when you said how Eve make parthenogenesis or something like that. And that made me realize that I could use science to understand my beliefs. The pandemic gave me time to read. I really love reading. And I read a book on evolution and disease, and that helped me to make a connection between evolution and creation. 2 years later, when I was trying to fix psychotic symptoms, I read Man and His Symbols, which further helped me to understand that life might have evolved through a series of synchronicities, and that could be because of a connection between biological processes and the unconscious psyche. The medical condition that caused me to believe that Alkaline was interacting with me subliminally is called erotomania. And because there were so many synchronicities or meaningful coincidences, I thought that they had to mean something. And it seems like it was really just the universe's way of demonstrating to me how evolution happened by chance. Because, this process has helped me to evolve. So you were correct. Nobody came out of anybody's rib. Nobody was magically created out of dirt. It was most likely a biological process, evolution, that occurred with the help of a psychological process. So thank you very much for asking that rhetorical question. I thought about all of the ways I possibly hurt you, and a big one that stood out to me was when a girl asked me, "Laura, you man that?" And I said, "No, girl." And I didn't think it would have hurt you because I didn't take it seriously when you would have called me like your future wife. But if you were serious about that, me acting in that way, disowning you like that, it must have hurt. And I'm very sorry about that, especially since other things that you did, if they really think about it, they would lead me to believe that you weren't joking. I had an avoidant attachment style, and this is me healing from it, not fearing intimacy anymore. Nikola Tesla allegedly had a prophecy about what would happen if science and spirituality were merged, and I've been studying non-physical phenomena because of this twin flame theory, and none of my methods were pseudoscientific. You know that I take very good notes. The first page in my psychology notebook, I had written down what the safeguards against pseudoscience are, and I followed that. I used it as a guide. The marijuana research proposal that I gave to you was a starting point of me connecting science and spirituality through mind and body. As it relates to the twin flame theory, it was me examining or studying parapsychological phenomena. So right now I'm trying to prove that my results are falsifiable. I've already said that alkaline is not my twin flame. So if you also are not my twin flame, then it probably means that twin flames just don't exist, and people need to stop pushing through toxic situationships or relationships for the sake of thinking that the person is their twin flame. Conversely, if you are my twin flame, then it would give people hope in love, and they would realize that real love is out there, and all you have to do is put the work in to heal yourself to find it. This is all possible because I was getting past life memories back, and to make sense of them, I had to psychoanalyze a musician who not only believes in the supernatural, but entertains the idea of reincarnation. Because, as he said, "Me not sure me I go born again, so me I live right." My friend had the same concern as me, that you probably saw me going crazy on IG and don't want me no more. But I can explain that. I was having an existential crisis while my frontal lobe was becoming fully developed. I realized that my parents and religion, I was traumatized perfectly pre-2020 to make sense of 2020 and beyond. I even had to work for a narcissist, and it helped me to learn how to play mind games really well. And yeah, all of the shit that I was going through because of alkaline, I was prepared for it because I was traumatized perfectly. And that is part of what helped me to realize that I did choose this life. I did choose the difficulties that I would have to go through in order to evolve. I'd like to just say I'm a black woman, so I'm just naturally magical, but that's not how this works. I have to explain for everyone's benefit. 2 years ago, I had said I'm going to contact Alkaline's manager and ask her if they'd like to collaborate with me to help raise mental health awareness, because up to that point, he had affected me spiritually in a positive way, and I realized that he needed a win because, people think he is the villain. So I was saying, even if they don't want to collaborate, good. That means that he isn't subliminally interacting with me and I can move on with my life. But when I did contact her, it was a starting point of me realizing that I didn't really have any say in the matter. I didn't really have any free will. Even my friends knew that I was working on something that I was really passionate about for Jamaica, and that was in 2021. But I was losing energy. It's like I was losing energy and it was being pushed towards focusing on alkaline, even though I did everything that I could. So for the first time in my life, I experienced crippling depression because I knew what I wanted to be doing, but I didn't have the energy to do it. And that actually led me to almost commit suicide again. But that was scary to me because I always used to have high functioning depression. That's the reason why I could have gone to UA full-time while working full-time and still end up with first class honors. The entire experience was terrifying and embarrassing for me, but even though nobody really understood or knew what I was going through, the earth understood, and she was honestly my only real support during that time. Recently, I overestimated someone's intelligence and tried to explain the pain of the experience to her. And then I said to her, it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, my aim is to save the planet. And that fool thought that I was showing signs of mental illness. She thought that I was being grandiose, which is basically saying or thinking that you are more powerful or more important than you really are. According to her, saving the earth is not my responsibility. And all of that just pissed me off because, first of all, I believe that everybody should be thinking that they can save the planet because this is where they motherfucking live. And second of all, even before I went crazy, it was always my aim to make the earth a better place. I'm going to take this opportunity to tell everybody that yes, I do have possible solutions to climate change and the blueprint for a better Jamaica. But whether people wish to believe me or not, I'm going to be living my best life regardless. I read this amazing book the other day, and it basically said that neurobiologically speaking, drug addicts don't have free will. And let's say an artist has been addicted to marijuana for years and even went as far as to say that it gives him direction. His art could have easily been inspired by a higher power that wanted me to observe the psychological processes behind evolution. I was ashamed that I am able to communicate with the spirits of the earth because I just wanted to be a regular scientist. I really do love science. But you know who had symptoms like me and was able to communicate with spirits? You know who was batshit crazy? Nikola Tesla. He's the one who said the gift of mental power comes from God, and if you focus your mind on that truth, then you become one with that power. So right now, there's proof that God really is a woman. So if you want to write me off for being Tesla kind of mad, then there's nothing that I can do about it. I'm not 100% sure that Jesus ever existed, but studying his teachings and his way of life really did impact my life for the better. At the end of the day, Jesus is a symbol of hope, and that is the reason why I chose to try to prove that Alkaline is the final incarnation of the Christ, instead of reinforcing Jamaicans' belief in Obia, because Jamaicans desperately need hope. The Endesa fans changed my life. They saved my life in so many ways, and I love them so much for it. But honestly, after a while, I didn't really care whether Alkaline was speaking to me or not, because he gave me enough to go off of to make scientific discoveries, but also enough to prove that I'm a witch, because I know that people treat humans who want to bring about positive change really poorly. And I'm just saying that I have a strict don't trouble me, nothing will trouble you policy, so nobody should be troubling me. Now that's out of the way, love really is the cure. This spiritual war isn't really about the devil, it's about making love prevail against all odds. Freud had said that repressed desires, if they're not expressed healthily, then they can lead to neuroses such as psychosis or schizophrenia. I was repressing the desire to love you, and when the pandemic came around and you showed no indication of missing me, I had to repress that desire even more, and that is what led to psychosis. So the other day when you said you want to hug me and we go out for drinks and dance the night away, then you just didn't answer me after that. I wanted to be like, fuck you, I don't need you. But fighting feelings for you is what drove me mad in the first place. So I'm telling you that my deepest desire right now, I don't want anything more than to love and take care of you. That's what I want. But if you don't want that, please inform me so I can move on and find someone else. I'd actually really love that hug. Even if you don't want me, I'm just letting you know that. But yeah, that's it. Thank you. And the first song that I heard a message that was definitely for me and was Beat Them Bad by Bojo. Where him say you've got to do this on your own, and never say never when you know you're clever.